Hi everyone, my name is Amy Johnson and I am going to give my feasibility report for technical writing class. And I'm going to first show you my audience. Okay, and now we're going to start. Okay, so I chose to do my feasibility report on, the question was, should the United States outsource technical writing jobs? And the reason I chose this is because I'm in the professional communication degree, and this is going to be something that's important for me for the future, for a future job. And in this semester, I learned a lot about outsourcing and the effects it has and the positive sides it has. First of all, let's just start with an introduction. Technology is quickly and constantly changing, creating an internationally competitive world with internet access worldwide. Because of this has caused a really high demand for technical writing, for user manuals, instruction manuals, because of how quickly it's been changing. So the demand has been really high for technical writing, which is in turn causing it to be outsourced. Technical writers also now, because of this, they're burdened with heavy workloads, and their time is being wasted on less important jobs instead of like their expertise. So this is why outsourcing is becoming kind of like a controversial issue right now. And the purpose of this report is to understand why companies in the United States are outsourcing these jobs and how it's affecting the economy. And it'll just give some statistics on the job growth. And then I'll give you some at the end, some my recommendations. So what I found, my first topic was why United States is outsourcing these jobs. And some of the reasons are because of, I explained before, because of the heavy workload, but one of the biggest reasons is lower cost. Because some of the jobs they outsource to international companies, they don't charge as much, obviously. So a lot of companies are choosing to do that to save money here in the United States, which is kind of causing people to get upset, thinking that we're, strengthening someone else's economy and giving them, more business and everything, which after this report, you'll understand more of the reason behind that. And some of the other reasons why is the time zone, because their time zone is different. Like, let's say in India, so basically you can get everything more accomplished because it's around the clock working instead of just 9 to 5 in the United States. It's all overnight because they have a different time zone. So that's another reason why outsourcing has become popular. And it's also become popular because it gets the end product quicker to the customers because of that time zone change. And in some United States companies, instead of having to lay off or cut technical communication jobs in their business, they'll actually outsource to save the money for that, so they don't have to lay off some of the technical writing jobs. And let's see. But usually they say, because technical writing is you can collaborate from anywhere, you can work from anywhere. So if two technical writers are working, one in India and one in the United States, you can collaborate on a project anywhere because of the internet. But they say that it's better to have the technical writer actually where the product or where is being made, because they have more of a camaraderie with everyone in the group. And So with that, the next topic I chose was, or to talk about, was the effects actually that outsourcing has had on the U.S. economy. And there's been some positives and negatives. There's risks that the companies takes when outsourcing. Sometimes the work isn't quality work, like maybe it would be here. Let's see. There's a lot of time spent on training, and also language has been an issue, because let's say in another country, how they think of something or how they would write up a user manual is not how we do it in the United States, so they have to be trained and taught. And then one other big issue is what probably some of the controversy is coming, is that there's not any privacy or confidentiality laws for that the U.S. has, like specifically, like we have them here, but other companies that are being that we outsource to don't necessarily have those. So that's becoming an issue, and that's one of the negative effects. And then this, which I thought was pretty interesting, was that right now in the U.S. for a business to outsource a company, let's say IBM, that's outsourcing to India, they actually get a higher tax break than companies that keep it in the U.S., which is not right, and they're trying to change that right now, because obviously it should be other around. The people, the jobs that are being kept here in the U.S. should have, a higher tax break than, people that are actually outsourcing. Let's see. And one of the advantages of outsourcing is that we have lower priced products here. So to advantage to us is that to outsourcing, the products here, the cost of living is going to be cheaper for us. So that's one of the actual advantages of it. And then some of the statistics on the technical writing jobs, they actually are, technical writing positions have the highest increase over any other field combined. And it's like in 2007, they, the national employment said that it would increase by 18%. And it is one of the fastest growing areas because of the fast growing technology and how quickly it's going and how high demand. So it has, it's one of the fastest jobs that is increasing. And let's see, they've continued to rise, and in 2012 there was 49,500 jobs were held by technical writers. And actually, this is a visual I have that will show you, it's a graph that gives you an idea of where the jobs and how steady they've been, going, which is kind of interesting. They have been keeping steady and strong. It's slowly growing even with outsourcing. So outsourcing really hasn't affected the jobs, even though we've been outsourcing, it hasn't really affected it. There's still a lot of competition out there, and the fact that technical writers can work from any location is why outsourcing is a controversial issue. And then there's other options, like for technical communicators to stay competitive in the United States. There's a couple things they can do. They need to, the biggest thing is to add value to their job by staying up on all their skills. Know what the new technology is coming out, knowing how it works, knowing how to format and do their job. Add value to themselves and into the company that they're working for. And one of the other issues is, and actually this is becoming bigger in colleges and universities, is in the technical writing curriculum, they're actually adding like having to take a language and then also how to deal with international outsourcing because it's been such a big issue. So that's another thing that even learning another language is beneficial for technical writers, just to, you know, add that value and stay competitive. And even after they're adding value in that, there's always the risk, but there is other options. They can actually stay at home and be self-employed and actually kind of outsource themselves the jobs to wherever they want, or they can actually move to in the United States there's actually in like the larger cities is where it's more needed. And actually, I can show you this visual too. This gives you an idea of where a lot of the technical communication jobs are located in the United States. So relocating is another option. And just also to stay competitive with their wages would be. And then and so what I came up with at the end is that after going through all this information is that really outsourcing technical writing jobs has not affected the United States. Not on a real, you know, it really hasn't made a difference. The jobs are still growing. And I mean, it is a controversial issue, but we're not losing any jobs. The jobs are still here. If anything, we're staying more competitive in the globally quickly growing technical world right now. And some of the recommendations I have were to keep the public more aware about how outsourcing lowers the cost of living. I think most people aren't aware of that, and I think that would be something that would help with this issue. And then changing that tax law I talked about before, I think would make a difference in some of the corporations, their choices. And having colleges and universities make it a requirement in the technical communication class. Not all of them do that. It's just starting to change. So I think that would be another thing to push it in the right direction. And then making stricter privacy laws for corporations, so that, you know, we're not losing anything here and there, you know, the other companies aren't gaining. And using your technical writers you have to collaborate on international products, using what we have here. I think those are all going to help put this controversial issue to rest. And hopefully it'll change the focus and it'll be more of a useful and productive state. Thank you for listening. I'm just going to show my audience